We respectfully request the Sangha great virtues for the sake of this assembly and all living beings. Please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach and guide us how to end birth and death, leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize non-birth. Cung thính đại đức tặng thịnh, vì thứ pháp hội cấp nhất thiết chúng sanh, thịnh chuyên diệu pháp luân giao đạo ngã mùng, như há liêu sanh thoát tư ly khổ đạc lạc, tất chứng vô sanh. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One. Nam mô Sa Đàn Thô Sư Chế Đô Ye Ở La Hơ Đi San Miao San Pu Tô Xie. Nam mô Tát Đắc Tha Tu Ya Đa Ya A La Ha Đê Tam Miệu Tham Bồ Đà Toa. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I'm able to see and hear, I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual principles. Wu shang sheng sheng wei miao fa bai jian, 万劫难遭遇，我今见闻得受持，愿解如来真实义。O Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Great Master Sutra, Great Master YongHua, all good monks and nuns, and all good knowing advisors, Emitofuo. 诸佛菩萨、智者大士、师父上人、各位出家人、各位善知识，弥陀佛。Chư Phật Bồ Tát, kính thưa Trí Giả Đại sư Thượng Thiên Hóa, quý thầy cô và quý vị thiện tri thức A Di Đà Phật. Hello everyone, today is the 10th of August 2024. We're here at Way Mountain Temple, traveling up and down the coast to continue discussing the Vimalakirti Sutra. We're on slide 99. Thank you all for joining us. First of all, I just want to share some good news with you. I just talked to, wait, honey, yeah. Calm down. Can't wait for good news, yeah. And now we've been confirmed that our good friend G.I. Joe hips are sort of like 100%. 100%. Yeah, it's pretty good. He had hip replacement surgery. And it's came out beautifully, And so I'm so glad to hear that. Now he sits in full lotus, he walks around, he's happy, there's no need for compromise in his lifestyle, no more pain. Huh? And in a year's time, he'll be replacing the other one with the bionic version. Right? That's what you told? Yeah, you said you want bionic version? If that's the case, I'd like 2 of those. Yeah. Shall we all get hip replacement surgery? It will be so cool. It will last forever. Yeah. All right. Good for you. Act 2 coming up. Yeah. Okay. And also, for those of you who don't know, we have a new member to our family, a recently left home person that happened this morning at JMT in K-Land under the auspices of Great Master XC, along with the assistance with all the Korean Sangha. Okay? And her name is, what happened to her? Did she run away? Stand up and say hello to everyone, everyone. I'd like to introduce you to Hyun Min, something like that. Yeah, the face, zoom in, they can't zoom in, I'm sorry. Okay, lower yourself, you too tall, honey, kneel. Kneel, we can't see, they want to see the face. There you go. Okay, so she'll be known for all practical purposes. Remember this one, she came last, yeah, she looked very good, yeah. So she's now known as XM2, XM2, yeah. All right, welcome to the family. Yeah, all right. Happy days are here again. Okay, all right. Anyone has any questions for? Yeah, go ahead, back there.
Master, the Ming, what does it mean in English?
Xing, what does it mean? When they texted me last night, they said, by the way, Master, we need another Xian name tonight, because it happened actually. I got the text at 2 or 3 in the morning. I said, huh? And so, you know what I do? Then I enter Samadhi, reach my hand, and yeah. And then I send the name to XX and say, what does it mean? What does it mean? No, it means nothing.
It means normally it's sensitive and smart, agile.
Mm-hmm. Smart, agile, martial arts. Thank you. Huh? Normally. Yeah, so all of the above. Yeah, isn't that cool? There you go. Yeah. Looking really good, looking just as good as with hair. So he says, so welcome, okay? Since there's a few new ones recently, so let me remind you. We give you time. There's no hurry, okay? Just because you don't have a name and down the road, we give you about 6 months to a year to adjust, okay? It takes a while, so don't worry, okay? One of the things that we do is, of course, it's a different change in lifestyle. Before, you had to worry about things, making ends meet, and credit card payments, car payments, and so forth. We simplified everything so that you don't have to worry about money. It's one of the biggest worries in modern life, where payments, yeah? And so it's a big burden off your heart, so you don't have to worry about it. And so since you have few worries, then that's what are you supposed to do? It's typical of what we're doing today, just a while ago. We requested the Dharma. This is a method that my master taught us in my generation. Your questioning Dharma is so fundamental to our practice. Buddha, after he became a Buddha, what did he do? He spoke Dharma to the Bodhisattvas, and then he traveled to the deer park to speak Dharma to his previous 5 attendants. You see that? Or he spoke Dharma to the Yesu, one of the merchants who stopped by his Bodhi tree. He spoke Dharma to them, and they certified to 4-stage arhatship. And then he moved on to the deer park and spoke Dharma and ordained his 5 previous attendants. So you see, look at the career of the Buddha. The most important thing he does that you can see is to speak the Dharma. So that tells you that you should take advantage of it. Meaning that when you have a chance, you should be listening to the Dharma, okay? The Buddha is no longer available, and what he spoke is just too far-fetched for you, so that's why he sent patriarchs and sages to come to our world to explain the sutras and Buddhist teachings for us. So that's why now that you have that, those available, you should be listening to Master Shenhua's Dharma as well as mine. Okay? And Master Shenhua is more basic. Mine is a little bit more advanced, more catered towards the Western educated people. My master is more for Chinese culture, Asian culture, Confucian-based type of civilizations. Okay, mine is more irreverent and wishy-washy, but it's more Western for more Western educated times. Okay, so that's the difference. If you can, one of the things we do is you should be listening. We speak Dharma for you, and therefore you should be listening to the Dharma as much as possible. Okay? In particular, the Dharma I've been speaking within the last 4 or 5 years is more geared towards sudden teaching. Okay? My master's Dharma is more like, I would say, 15% maximum sudden teaching. His is more for the basics. So depending on who you are, it never hurts to listen to both, but you need to understand the differences. When it comes down to basics, you should listen to his. When it comes down to more advanced, you should need to listen to me. So it's good to listen to both. 1 and 2. Okay. But eventually, when you get higher, then you have to choose very carefully. Let me explain to you. When you get to 1G, 5G, definitely 5G or above, as soon as I certify to be 5G or above, you should be listening to my Dharma. Don't listen to his Dharma anymore. His is too Chinese, too slow for you. Okay? That's where we are. Good luck to all of you. Yeah? Any questions? Just listen. Okay? And you can tell that when you listen and that interests you, then you have enough blessings. There's hope for you. If you listen to the Dharma there, either Master Shenhua's Dharma or my Dharma, and you say, okay, so what? Okay, that means you don't have enough blessings. That means go work. Go plant more blessings. It's that simple. Okay? All right. There you go. That's a roadmap for your pleasures. Yes. Ocho.
Thank you, Master. I have a question from last Saturday's lecture. I believe it was this lecture where you were talking about what happens when this particular world is self-destructs because of the negative forces and so on. And you were saying about how somehow those people who follow the Dharma somehow will be taken care of. They'll be brought somewhere else and so forth.
Mm-hmm. We take care of you, honey.
I love that, thank you. I always want to be taken care of.
Yeah.
But
you're safe with us.
Thank you. I'm going to hang in there. But my question is, whenever this happens, if it's me, okay, good, whatever. But let's say it's generations from now, and maybe I'll have descendants. And I've always wondered about this even before. Is there any way that we can transfer merit and virtue blessings or whatever kind of blessings to our descendants? I know we have other things like plaques that may go for ancestors, but going forward, is there anything for those who will come after us?
That's true. Good point. See, this is why the Westerners are so demanding. We Asians just happy with our ancestors. They say, what about my descendants?
Well, you brought them up last weekend, so it made me think about descendants. And, I can do something for my grandson and maybe other grandchildren, or it's down the road further.
Honestly, we never thought of it because we basically figure eventually no more descendants. At the rate where no one wants to have children anymore, except for Elon. Elon has 12, My gosh. 12. Oh, I like the guy. He's making up for our entire temple.
Working hard.
Yeah. And he's still planting the seeds.
Spreading the seeds.
What a guy. Incredible. I hope we Democrats are just as productive. What do you think? I haven't thought of it. Really, filiality, it's the old ancestors thing is like the concept of filiality. But what about, the future? What do we do? What happened is that when we transfer merit and virtues, we transfer to everyone. So yes, I get you. I get your point. That is, yes, I want to transfer to everyone, but occasionally I do think about my descendants and so forth, especially if this world is coming to an end. Can I, do something for them as well? Let's discuss about this, huh? Old habits, let's have a powwow and talk about it and see, which one we like to serve, which one we don't have to. Okay, we'll think about it. How is that? It's a valid point, yeah. But what shall we call it? It's not filiality, so what is it called? Concept. See, all ancestors black is filiality. We were grateful to how we got here. But what about in the future? I don't know. Maybe compassion for their suffering? Giving, compassion, love. Tesla. Okay. Let's think about it. Thank you very much. Anyone else? Yes.
I have just some interesting dream that I had when you mentioned about the end of the world last week, and one of the Venerable suggests that I should share this dream. I don't know what it means, but so I dreamt that it's just 2 days before you talk about the end of the words. And so one night I went to sleep early, and I woke up at 1 o'clock, and I said, oh, too early. So I meditated for 2 hours and went back to sleep. And I dreamt that we were preparing for the end of the world, and we were kind of like saying goodbye to, preparing ourselves and saying goodbye to the end. And so there were some people around me, but I didn't recognize who they were, and so I saw the big wave came about crashing down, and somebody started chanting Namo Guanxin Pusa, and that reminded me. And I did the same thing. So I chanted Namo Guanxin Pusa, and suddenly I was in a safe place. And
Master XC, the old abbot, would be so proud of you.
And then, but at one time, at the moment, I was happy, but also I feel guilty. And I said, "Oh my God, I should have, tell my family members." Because my family member was not there. I would start thinking about my mom, my sister, and say, "Oh, I should have told them to, when emergency come, they should."
How
do the same."
selfish! Yeah.
So I woke up and I said,
Too late. No, too late. No, hey, we missed the boat. They missed the boat. Okay. Well, better luck next time. That's all we can say. Yes, 11 or 1? And never mind, 1.
So, Master, we cannot recite Guanyin alone. We have to tell everyone else around us to recite too, or else they don't get saved.
No, they get saved. Unbeknownst to her, Guanyin also saved the mother and the sister, but we want her to feel guilty. Okay. Anyone else? All right. And so what happened is that in the case that you forgot to recite Guanyin's name for them, okay, then you text Master O Abbot and say, Master, I forgot to ask. Will you ask Guanyin Bodhisattva just to make sure? She talks to him. They have kind of, they're like close, very close, like mother and son. Yeah, it's real weird. I don't know how old Guanyin Bodhisattva is. But she treats him like his son, his favorite son. Really catering to all his needs and desires. All right. Okay, we're on slide 99. So we're in this Bodhisattva section. The commentary slide here, it says, without having to be asked, these Bodhisattvas befriended others and provided safety. Okay? And so, yes, DTT.
Emitofuo Master, it's not a related question. It's about some dilemma I conquered in the clinic practice.
Okay.
So, yeah, basically, I see more and more mental issue patient, depression, anxieties, and because I work as a primary care, I will try to provide with my medical training and knowledge, such as healthy lifestyle, good sleep, exercise, do meditations, even medication, including prescribing them medications. But there are some people just not get enough help. And there are many, many times Mahayana Buddhism practice Chan is on the tip of my tongue, but I know whenever there's a religious component in it, it kind of become not so appropriate to some patient. But I wonder, like recently I have a Chinese patient who is also a Buddhism, but going to other different practices. And to me, she's totally depressed. She's clearly depressed with physical disease and the mental concerns. And she already tried, we started her on medication. I teach her different American ways to relaxation, psychology. I send her to different doctors to help her out, but she's getting worse. So again, I almost bite my tongue. I want to tell her more about Mahayana Buddhism, but should I or should I not?
Absolutely not. Okay, because I think your organization would be dead set against it. They want to shy away from any sort of religious affiliation because they want to be neutral and they don't want to lose customers. Okay, it's best to stay away from it because I don't understand about Kaiser Hospital that much. The name there tells me they're probably more Catholic and so than not. Okay, and it's the majority of the clients are from that side of the fence, and so for you to recommend any sort of religion, especially Buddhism, I don't think it's good for your career. It's against the company policy. I think. Okay, and even for large companies, when they do charity donations, they all usually stipulate that this is not for religious purposes, it's for charity purposes only. Okay, and so when you make such recommendation, it might be construed as overreaching. Okay, and it's not good for you, it's not good for your boss, it's not good for the regional manager. I think you will find a lot of opposition to it.
Yeah, but I need money.
Okay. Besides, in your profession, you do things based on scientific data, based on professional training, and your professional training does not include chant at all. So for you to recommend extreme cases like that to chant, chances are that it will not work at all. Okay, so I would not do that.
This costs $1.
Okay, in the future, maybe in about 10 years, 20 years, when we are a lot more recognized, a lot stronger, okay, better established. The way it works is that we can have a fund established to help such people, as compassionate fund or some funds of compassion or something, where they at the end of the ropes, they have nowhere else to turn, and in particular mental illnesses is spreading like wildfire. It gets worse and worse and worse. Okay, so we do that to bring more attention to the need for better and more effective approaches for mental health. Because what you know right now, for you folks professionally, know your professional knowledge and training is inadequate. Is ineffective against mental illnesses. Okay, and so. But not right now. It's not much you can do. It's.
Doesn't live in the parking lot.
It's a lot. The more sufferings this patient of yours has, the more blessings are required to address it. So therefore, it's a very tough thing. We open our mind right now, they say, oh, so you want us to submit to you with no proof, with no scientific records, and I think money is involved, something like that. So it may not help them at all. Okay. I have, for example, recently we have a a case where someone is severely depressed. And she tried everything. She tried all the mental doctors. She was interned a few times, and so severely depressed. She has constant thoughts of killing herself. Okay, and so they tried everything. They tried Buddhism. They tried everything you could think of. And then finally, she was introduced to us. And we basically said, this problem here, we know doctors, we can't fix it. For us, our approach is pay off your debts, the karmic debts. There's no magic to us. There's no miracles here. We owe the bank, you have to pay the bank. They're not going to go away. Okay? And so you have to pay them out. So he said, okay, I'd like to try. She tried, but actually it's half-hearted. She tried because what she really wants is actually leech of us. And so if you come to me and say, I have this problem here, severe problem here, and I said, yeah, I know about your problem. I had it too. My disciples had it too. We've helped a lot of people, and we have a track record. Now our approach is totally spiritual. Okay, we have to pay off the karmic debt. That's all we know, and it worked very well for us. And so you want our help. This is what we do, and you like to try it. Sure, try it for a while. It should help you. Okay, if it doesn't help you, back out. And so she tried. She wanted to try to repay the karmic debts for 1 year. Okay, and so she tried and helped her a little bit. But what really happened is that she's scheming to get us to do everything for her. She never bought into repaying karmic debts. So help a little. Okay. But this is, if you don't believe it, we can't help you. We are not God. We're not miracle workers. All we do is help you have a system that worked very well for the last almost 20 years now, where we pay off karmic debts, and miraculously people got better and better and better. And actually, and among many of my disciples got much better. We have normal lives. But this woman here is only about trying to take advantage of us. Okay, and so it's not working for her that much. Okay, and to the point now, after we observe her for a while, let me tell you, after a while now, we can't wait until the next chance we have with her. I will give her the money back. I said, this is not working. We don't want to be you to think we're taking advantage of you. Okay, here's your proposed repayal thing that we tried, or that you tried. Here, take it back, and we can't help you. Good luck to you. Okay, it's a very, very difficult thing to do. It's spiritual solution where you need to believe that there is this karmic debt repayment. You have to suffer one way or the other. Either you suffer with being mentally tortured and be miserable day and night, okay? Or you negotiate and say, instead of harassing me, let me suffer by creating merit and virtue, making an offering, a triple jewel, and use that to pay off my karmic debts to you. Think about it. We're not saying it's a miracle, but actually a pretty innovative way to fix it, which worked for many of us. And if you don't believe it, it's no point. We can't help you. So unfortunately for her, okay, I'm basically plan to tell her that this we can't help you, and good luck to you. Okay, it's no point in wasting your time and my time in doing this. And so you see, there's a different angle to this process. It doesn't work for the Western scholars, especially mental institutions, because their approach lack this element where it's a karmic debt. And they don't believe in karma. So that's why this will always limit their effectiveness to only drugs and meds. It's all superficial. It works superficially. So this woman here, when she says she is severely depressed, they have to drug her up and lock her up. I wouldn't call that solution. Okay, but that's all the Western institutions are proud of. They say, they work for us. You see? So it's a conflict of interest. And the more advanced the mental disease, mental illnesses institutions, such as we have one here in UCLA, some sort of an institute for mindfulness meditation set up to help handle mental illnesses. And they are very, very famous. There are many doctors converge to learn from them. I look at their processes, I look at the papers, I look at the so-called experts. It's like barely scratching the surface because they fail to grasp this concept of karmic debts. We're suffering because we have karmic debts. Therefore, either we suffer to pay off the karmic debts in that form or suffer another form. But in order to pay off the karmic debts, there's suffering involved. Anyone that tells you you don't have to do anything to fix this problem is pulling your leg. You know such a thing. My master, Master YongHua, used to, I don't know that well, but his approach has always been, okay, you're depressed, I help you. You're no longer depressed. And what actually happens, because I know he cannot possibly kill the depression ghost. When he does it, the depression goes to someone else close to you, including his own disciples. I know his disciples are depressed. Oops, that's lacking in compassion. Okay? Yes, 9.
Thank you, Master. We have a comment here from Robin's Nest. Emitofuo, Master, I would like to piggyback off of Vicky's sentiments about generational blessings in the future. I started making a Buddhist shrine years ago that was small and quaint, and now it's quite large and lovely. And if after I pass away, if the shrine can be maintained and passed down generations into the future, I would think it would cultivate many blessings for my future descendants.
Absolutely.
I also write down sutras, and one day I hope my future descendants will as well sit by the family shrine and recite sutras like their forefathers.
Yes, in the past, as now that Robin's Nest brought it up, in the past, way where we help you pass down blessings for the future generation is by building temples. Because those buildings there, those monuments there, are actually drawing a lot of people. They go there and they throw in, like at there's that fountain in Rome. What's that called again? The famous fountain in Rome. Everyone goes there, and you go there. Watch out for your wallet. Trevi Fountain. Trevi Fountain, okay? Trevi Fountain. Trevi Fountain. Trevi. Okay? That's where you bring your girlfriend and and you throw a coin and say, I love you forever. It's so nice. Okay? Those, when you go to Rome, usually people go there and, toss a coin in the fountain. And same thing. In the future, I know we're poor right now, I don't want to scare you yet. In the future, we should have monuments like that, maybe a stupa, something that's Buddhist that draws people. People would go to a stupa like the golden stupa in Sri Lanka, or we can have one here in the US, or a big, beautifully architected Buddhist cultural center. It's going to be Pure Land, hopefully, my children, okay? Pure Land Cultural Center, where it's like a tourist attraction. You have buses of tourists coming, okay? And that's how you're going to leave blessings for your future generation, not just your children, okay? Because they come there and they toss in a quarter into the fountain. We call it Trevilala, Trevi at LA, Trevilala. Trevi Disney, I'm Trevi Mimi, I don't know, I'm open. So those are the things that actually serve for dual purposes. People need to be entertained, distracted from their worries and their troubles, but they also are doing something useful for the future, okay? All right, something real for them. Not just, you should pay all your karmic debts. Okay. If you believe that, good for you, but, it doesn't work for me. Okay? So we should be more multidimensional, not just this. This right now, I admit to you, is really for the elite. Okay? Yeah. Like you. But in the future, we need to enlarge it so to make it more available to others. For example, Master Hsien An, who came back from Korea, she's at DTT right now doing chant classes with tea. It's very innovative. It's very good. Before, like this morning, we just sat and meditated. And how many you showed up? No one knew. Okay, but Hsien An drew in new people, and they drank tea, and they spoke Dharma, and so forth. We should be more open-minded and try different means to drawing more people, to be more inclusive. Okay, that's the way it should work, and we should not stop at even that tea. We should also go into coffee. Excuse me. I'm not very creative. How about what is it? Walking up the mountain, what do you call that? Hiking. Hiking up the mountain. Go up there and sit for 10 minutes, meditate for 10 minutes and talk. And walk down. And then go to boba shop. You see? We should have more activities that's not purely spiritual, because most people cannot handle it. It should be more inclusive. You cannot be so self-serving. I want you to start thinking about it because you got so much out of it. That's why you keep on coming week after week after week. In the future, you have to think about, how can I benefit more people who are not like me, who can take only a smaller dosage of spirituality? Okay? We should be thinking about it, because now that you're stronger and more compassionate, that's what we do. Okay? All right, anyone else? Okay, thank you. All right, so we're here back on slide 99. And so this is what bodhisattvas do. They befriended others, meaning they draw near living beings. And this is also the spirit of our path. We don't want to run away from society. We never intend to run away from society. And actually, unlike the Chinese style that my master advocated, he has training centers, for example, CTTB and so forth, okay, where they actually isolate themselves. They don't want others to come in. My disciples, our people from DTT, came there for a visit recently, okay, and asked one of the nuns there, "What is your name?" I said, no, I will tell you a little bit later when I see you again, okay? It's sort of like they say, "Don't bother me," you know, because I don't even want you to know who I am. It's simple civility for us, for Westerners. I like to say, "Oh, hi, Sarah. Oh, hi, G.I. Joe." It's commonplace for us. It's a form of connection, right? It's not like we're seeking anything. It's just a cultural thing. But see, their approach is that we're pure, we're better, we're above you. Bodhisattvas are not like that. Bodhisattvas, they draw near you, they make excuses, find excuses to draw near you, instead of erecting walls between them and you. So our approach is different, okay? My master's approach is good for building a foundation where they're weak, they need to put up walls around them, where they're safe. Everyone else is safe with them. But for us, we throw down walls, we break down walls because it makes us stronger, quicker. Because we're being watched over, because we're being helped. We're being guarded. So we are fearless. When you erect walls around you and don't bother me, you know, I don't want to get your money. It's Hinayana approach. You understand? I'm pure. Yeah. You're attached to purity. That's Hinayana. That's why I call them Hinayana Mahayana training. Okay? And so we come up with excuses, folks, to draw near living beings. So our temples are in the cities. We haven't had anything that's that far away yet. Okay? It will happen in the future, but it's for a different kind of training. All right? And so living beings, bodhisattva, that's how you can tell whether it's Hinayana or Mahayana. Okay? Because Mahayana, we draw near living beings. We come up with excuses to draw near them, not run away from them or push them away. Because we're afraid to be infected by their disease, by their afflictions. Okay? So it's contrary to befriending living beings. Okay? And this is so Pure Land, folks. Tomorrow is Pure Land Dharma Assembly. In Pure Land, you know, in Amitabha's Buddha Land, Western Bliss Pure Land, all bodhisattvas draw near living beings. There's no walls at all. Okie dokie? Without being asked. Because living beings, when they're suffering, they're overwhelmed. They don't know who to ask, who to trust, who they can trust. They've been scammed. They've been misled. They've been exploited for so long that, you know, everyone is so skeptical of others. Everyone is scared of being scammed and being stolen. Okay? And so that's why the bodhisattvas who have wisdom, they said, you know, I know of your fear and so forth. Okay? So for me to sit here and wait for you to ask me, it's probably not going to work for you. Okay, in order to help you out sooner, I will come up with expedients, excuses to draw near you. This is what I'm talking about. Chan class over tea, Chan class in hiking, and so forth. Okay, we need to come up with expedients to draw in living beings without being asked. Okay. But also, furthermore, in our world, I can't emphasize this enough. Okay, even though we're trying to help people, but we always, in the back of our mind, wait for them to ask for help. So the help, for example, I talked to you about what is tea, what is hiking, because of common interest. Okay, entertainment for them. Okay, that's okay to do, but don't be over anxious. Don't be overzealous. Thank you. Zealous or zealous? Overzealous, like jealous. Okay. That you tell them too much. Okay, that is for us. We have a protocol where we patiently wait for them to ask before we teach them the Dharma. Okay, and I can't stress this often enough because in my career I've seen too many people who learn a little bit about Dharma and they get so excited and say, wow, this is such superior philosophy of life. Let me tell you how to have a better life. And always the reaction I saw in those people, including me, okay, is that, who asked you? I'm perfectly happy being this miserable. Okay? And so that's why, remember, do not speak Dharma until it's requested properly. And that's why every time we speak to you, give you something profound like a Dharma, we go through a Dharma request, okay, as a reminder, okay, that it has to be done properly. Then you're free to speak the Dharma. Next, 100. These bodhisattvas, this is what bodhisattvas do. They provided safety without being asked. Okay? What is safety? Safety means that you can defend yourself. You can fend for yourself first. This is what happened to lay people, ordinary people. They try to help others, but more often than not, they actually are doing more harm than good because they cannot even help themselves. Okay, see, the prior slide is that you try to help before you asked, okay? Don't do that. Number two, and when you help, there is a standard for helping. You ask yourself, can I help myself? How can I possibly help someone if I cannot even help myself? Okay? So if you can't even help yourself, chances are that you can't help anyone else either. Therefore, you should refer them to someone who is better than you, who can really help. All right? And what kind of help are they providing? This is another important concept. Okay? Safety. They can fend for themselves, therefore they're safe by their own. Okay? Bodhisattvas can fend for themselves. They can be tricked by demons and so forth temporarily, but eventually we guide them so that they can fend for themselves. They can be safe themselves. That's why, folks, when I tell you 1G, that's the territory where you are able to fend for yourself. And you get better and better and better at it. Okay? And it's not, for us, it's not just to fend for ourselves. To fend ourselves is that now we need, out of compassion, to protect others, provide safety for others. And that's a bodhisattva path. When you provide safety for others, what does it mean? It means asking for a lot of money, trouble. Because basically you say, you can't attack this person, you cannot harass this person, you have to go through me first. So now all of a sudden, you're exposing yourself to all sorts of problems in the world. Okay? And so you're providing safety for others, it comes at a price that you have to pay. Okay? I remember one of my ex-disciples, her husband used to be a cop, and he retired after 20 years in the police as a police officer, and then he was doing security details for rich people. They have a team of like a dozen people that provided safety for this. Back then, 20 years ago, this woman, divorced woman who was worth $300 million. So they had to hire a security detail. Okay? And so they rotate round the clock. And every time he goes there, it's very stressful for him. Like you can lose your life. Very much like Orange Face. He got shot in his ears. People basically, you look at how courageous, how brave those people are. They immediately surrounded him and shielded him. That's what it takes. When you provide safety to others, it's usually at the risk of losing your own life. And this is why the first requirement for that is that you must be able to help yourself, not lose your life. That's the difference between bodhisattvas and security details. They will not lose their lives. Okay? All right? And here, Master Chucha, he says, how do you provide peace and security? By cultivating the Four Noble Truths. Okay? And so that's how you become stronger yourself. You cultivate, not necessarily just the Four Noble Truths, but this is why I say, but you should read this as, this is, again, Master Chucha, Chinese kind of person. Okay? I'm racist. What can I say? Okay, and I can be a racist because in a prior life I was Chinese. I'm only criticizing myself. Korean too, by the way. I was Korean too. This is why so many Koreans like me. I was never Russian, by the way. Okay, we'll never have a temple in Russia, by the way. No, I won't have a temple. Anyway, and the point being that, what's the point being? The Four Noble Truths, yeah, okay, thank you. And so you learn the Dharma. The Four Noble Truths represents the Buddha's teachings. It ties back to what I told you earlier. I asked you to listen to the Dharma. constantly. And that's how you gauge whether you have enough blessings or not. If you have blessings, it keeps on growing and growing and growing. When you get to say, I don't know, I disagree. Yeah, that's when you know you're in trouble. You need more blessings. Because others have listened to the Dharma more often than you, and they didn't get tired, and they got higher and higher and higher. Because this Dharma is a Dharma of sudden teaching. Just listen, that's all. If you can afford to listen to it and not get tired, it's working imperceptibly. Okay? And then, so you learn the Dharma, that's how you're able to fend for yourself. And then you have to teach the provisional and reveal the actual. Provisional meaning that you help people make progress. A gentleman asked me earlier this morning in a Chan class, he says, years ago in your old Dharma talks, you taught about how each level of samadhi has certain specific type of obstructions, okay? And so how is it supposed to help us? It means that it's provisional teaching. Okay? Because in order for you, if you're here, to go next level, we know how to do that. It's called provisional teaching. Okay? But if we only explain to you this, then as I explained to him this morning, then we're missing out on the sudden teaching. Okay? So that's why there's always a delicate balance. If you're lower, at times we teach you provisional, and sometimes we teach you actual, and so forth. So there's always a middle way in teaching, both provisional and actual. Actual is actually sudden teaching. All right? And then finally, you answer, meaning that you befriend them, and then to bring peace to the community. Because what happens out there is people are constantly afflicted, agitated, so it's no peace at all. So even in our small temples here, our very tiny and poor temples, it's an oasis of peace and bliss. You come here and you take a break from all the madness and all the afflictions of society. Yeah? You can't quantify it. You can't put a number on your mental health. Any questions? Yes, sirs.
Master, I'm thinking about enabling safety, and it seems to me a big part of that comes from listening to Dharma, and you develop it. A worthy listener is going to begin to hear the Dharma and feel that it's credible. And then at that point, you're going to feel confident in what you believe in is the truth. And that's going to give you courage. And then at that point, the courage is going to propel you to a safe life in this life. So you develop that yourself by your sincere belief,
yes.
I think.
Yes. You're safe because also there's a lack of fear. Okay, if you're safe long enough, you say, okay, and I have nothing to fear. My fears are unfounded. This is actually what happens to mental illness patients. Their karmic creditors, the karmic debtors, instill fear in them. That's why they panic constantly. No medication, no counseling is not going to be able to do that. Okay? There are two ways to handle it. Number one is that they themselves can fend for themselves, can be trained to not be affected by all the devices that the karmic creditors throw at them, the attacks, as we term it. They do things to cause these patients to panic, to become afflicted, to go berserk, and throw tantrums, for example. Manic tantrums. Okay? And so that's what happens. You learn how to not fall for those attacks. Okay, that's the first thing as it happened. And then also another thing that as a reminder for you, all of you, that we all have limitations. Okay, we can only go so far. We can lift so much. What's the strongest man in Olympics? How heavy can he do? He can lift a snatch. Look it up quickly. The strongest man, Olympics. I forgot whether it's in kilos or pounds. I don't remember anymore. He's the strongest man of the world. He's 400 pounds. He's lifted 600 something. I don't know, I don't remember, it's kilos or pounds.
Looks like the clean and jerk record is like 224 kilograms.
Yeah, so 600 pounds.
Yeah.
Okay, approximately. He weighs 400 pounds, and the strongest man can do a jerk or snatch, whatever, of 600 pounds. My point being that doesn't matter how strong you are, you're still limited. Give him 700 pounds, he can't lift. Agree? Same thing. We all have limitations. Okay? And therefore, remember two cases, you are able to live and take care of yourself, do it yourself. But you reach your limit, that's when you need help from the bodhisattvas. Only bodhisattvas can help you. That's why when the old monk went to Thailand, he said, someone help me. I asked him one very innocent question. I said, you see his level? He said, no, I can't tell his level. I said, then, if you really see his level, you understand he can't really help you. Because you're higher than him. How can he possibly help you lift? You lift 600 pounds. He lifts 200 pounds. And he tells you, I'm helping you. If he's really helping the old abbot, would he give his things to him? Yeah, here's my pendant, take my pendant. Don't give it to anyone. That's baloney. If I help you, why not give you my pendant? I suffer enough. I take your pendant. I'm not going to give you my pendants. But the old abbot is naive. People, I love you. He likes it. That's what happened when I get older, you see. Just do that to me. I say, oh, you are the best person in the world. No. The bodhisattvas, when they help you, it's because they're stronger than you, and they help you, and they don't want you to remember them, let alone give you their pendant. It's just inconsistent, you see, of behavior of bodhisattvas. That's why, I hope when I'm older, you remind me all these things. Okay, it's for me. Okay, in the future, when I get older and people do that to me, you say, hey, Master, remember? Master YongHua, 10 years ago, he said this. And he told me to remind you. Okay? So again, help comes in two forms. You need to be trained to take care of yourself because it's 24 hours a day, okay? And then there are times when it's too much for you, you should ask for help. That's the nature of the process. We all have limitations. Okay? The help comes in a form of shielding you from their harassments. Okay? Next, 101, provided safety without having to be asked. Why? Bodhisattvas not wait, but Buddha waited for the request. This is from Massachusetts, okay? So, this is Chinese wisdom you should learn. And boys and girls, and what I'm setting up for you is that you don't necessarily have to only study Master YongHua. There are lots of great Chinese sages that we could draw upon, especially with the great translation from the various programs now. They will get better and better and better. You should, you never lose. You go through these sages' teachings, say, oh wow, I didn't know that. I'm doing it every week. I say, oh wow, I didn't know that. Okay? And so you appreciate the teaching and you add, you reinterpret them from the perspective of our times, our cultures. This is Chinese. You see the pattern? You all should not be afraid to speak the Dharma. We have so many good resources, great resources to use. Don't have to reinvent the wheel at all. Have no fear, boys and girls. Did you hear me, Chung Yin? Listen more to the Dharma. And so Buddhas and Bodhisattvas actually don't have to wait. They help when it's called for. And the Buddha waited to teach a proper protocol. So that's how it works. All right? 102, befriended others. Okay? It's about drawing near living beings instead of running away or erecting walls behind, around them to keep the living beings away so that they are not bothered. Okay? That's not the behavior of bodhisattvas. Okay? And when you go draw near people, you build trust. Okay? And you do the same work, which is an ideal for the bodhisattva path. We do the same thing. Okay? A very simple concept. They do it, so do we. We don't say, you do it. They drink coffee, we drink tea. I mean, something like that. Okay? They drink matcha, we drink Pepsi. Doesn't work for you. Okay, it worked for me. And so I want you to have this big picture. The Buddha is a mastermind in the Saha world. He says, the system here is to help all the residents, black and white, yellow and red and brown, man and woman, senile and infantile, sick and healthy, rich and poor, everyone, okay, short and tall, okay? And so the Buddha is the mastermind. And then he sends his bodhisattvas to go with specific missions, like a commando. He says, we should take that mountain. Okay? So bodhisattvas are dropped by helicopter and they walk the jungles and go there and they shine a light over there and then they call in and say, oh, are you ready? can you send me a few Stinger missiles to kill the ghost and the demons, or to scare the heck out of them? Don't kill them, just chop up their legs. Okay? And so that's a system. I want you to see the big picture. It's all Shakyamuni Buddha's vision. It's not a casual thing at all. There is a program in place. There's a system in place where Shakyamuni Buddha used Master YongHua. Shakyamuni Buddha actually called Amitabha Buddha. Hello, how are you today? Are you well? Are your disciples good to you? Amitabha is, oh yeah, my disciples, number one. Okay? And so, you know what? Can I borrow one of your disciples? I'm learning short today. Okay? So Amitabha says, who do you need? You know, I kind of like YongHua. Yeah, can you send him? Can you loan him to me for 74 years? My age, my year, my Saha world years. And Amitabha said, oh, let me see, 74 years. He punched in a calculator. He says, 74 years? Oh, that's 2 days here. No problem. You can have him for 2 days. And that YongHua, that's why he was sent here. And for 2 days, he worked so hard. And when 2 days are up, he made excuses. Oh, you see, my body's broken, and so forth. I can't suffer any much longer. I'm going to die. And so he died, and he went back to Western Bliss Pure Land. That's what happened. Now you know. It's a big picture. Shakyamuni Buddha is actually putting these chess pieces in place. You know that? You think it's like coincidental, happen haphazardly? No, it's all overseen by the Buddha. Big picture. Okay, dokie? And they work together. Amitabha Buddha and Shakyamuni Buddha and Mrs. Master Buddha and so forth. And it's round and round and round. It's cool. And not just those two Buddhas. There's all sorts of Buddhas. They're working together. They're all constantly on the phone. It's not a moment where their cell phone is not ding, ding, ding. Their messages from Buddhas all over the world. Ding, 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 ding. Okay? And so you see, they said it's a fantastic system where it's all pre-planned. Buddha's like, I'm moving this piece here, and I move the other piece, and check. Checkmate. Oh, 103. Enabling the triple jewels to flourish and continue to persist. They subdued demons and enemies and brought externalists under control.
少龙三宝能使不觉，降伏魔怨，治诸外道。
Okay, 104. Commentary. Yeah. Enabling triple jewels to persist. Okay? Persist meaning that it's still available. How do you make it persist? By having people practice it. Okay? So our times, some people practice it because they like to, like the Vietnamese, they like to do ceremonies. Or the Tibetans, they like to recite mantras and play soccer. You know that? You didn't know that? They are the young lamas. They believe they are brought in a very young age, at about teenagers, even below, and what they spend their time doing is kick soccer. Run. Okay, that's what they do. And when we get old enough, they then go into debating each other. Okay, and that's how they train. All right, and so they practice. To persist is to propagate the teaching. Okay. And it says here, upholding the triple jewels, meaning that people still believe. They believe because when they practice, they have results. Okay? And this is one of the things you need to pay attention. You don't see results because you lack faith. It's not that it doesn't work. It's just that you don't have faith. That's the only difference between two people. They do exactly the same thing. One has faith, one doesn't. Okay? There's a huge disparity of the end results. Flourish. Back to slide 104. Flourish. Okay? Is to become more abundant. So it's to improve, to help improve. Okay, how do you become more abundant? More images. Okay, and there's one also interesting concept here. It says, in the sutra, it says, honoring images as though they were true Buddhas, one gains immeasurable blessings. And this goes back to what we said earlier. We was, invest in creating more statues, images, establishments for people to come. And they simply throw in a quarter and make a wish. Buddha, help me find, a true love of my life, and so forth. Help my son pass the exam, and so forth. And sometimes it works, for various reasons. And that's how, because it start first with, believing a little, that okay, if everyone does it, why not? Throw in a quarter into the fountain. Trevi lala, lama, lala, okay? Trevi lala, okay? And for some of these people, this miracles happens. It's because they have prior blessings. Shh. Okay. Don't say that Buddha is Blaze's favorite. Buddha has Blaze no favorite. This person works with one quarter. When you give in $100, you throw 100 coins in a Trevi Lala fountain, and the other guy just threw in a dime, and they get, oh my God, my son passed the exam. It's because prior blessings. Okay? And so when they mature, that's why it happens. So he says, so when we have these images, so if you look at these images, a drawing, a statue, and the environment is such that, like a Lourdes, you go there, you see this faint image of spiritual image, sacred image, and you brought it forth, oh my God, this is so wonderful, okay? And that's when you have tremendous blessings with God. Difference here with us, we need to create such instruments to help them have faith in the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas. Okay? And so that's why you create images, you create institutions, temples, print more sutras, more video, and so forth. Okay? We should be a lot more creative and more open-minded than simply say, you know, we're happy, so happy together. Okay? And the new ones are only causing so much trouble. They're only trying to suck our blood, outsmart us. And we saw them coming a mile away, but we don't say anything. Give them a chance to absorb and see if they will wake up or not. If not, goodbye. Next. Okay? All right. That's where we stop. We go to 105 next time. Thank you, everyone.